Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The bold and the beautiful spoilers reveal that Will Spencer, Crew Morrow, never trusted Luna Nozawa, Lisa Yamada. However, his feelings could change after Bill Spencer, Don Diamont, supposedly reformed the young killer. In a preview clip, Will does sit down and chat with Luna. Could the young woman prove herself and end up earning Will's heart? What does that mean for Electra Forrester, Linnea Grace? Ever since Luna was put on house arrest, she stopped trying to kiss Bill Spencer, Don Diamond. However, her focus quickly went to Will. The whole time that Luna was hiding out in Bill's mansion, Will had no idea she was there. Not only was she there, but listening to Will's private conversations with Bill, Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton, and Electra. While Luna hasn't tried reaching out or doing anything with Will, that was because she was on house arrest. Now she is a free woman. In a preview clip for the week of March 24, 2025, Luna is at Il Giardino. It shows Luna is chatting it up with Will. Even though Will is talking to Luna, he seems cautious but not afraid either. Bill has likely assured Will and everyone else that Luna isn't a threat to anyone anymore. Those that were deeply affected by her crimes might think otherwise though. Right now, Will and Electra are a couple. The pair seems happy and they are getting closer all the time. In fact, by the end of this week, Will admits to Electra his hopes for the future regarding their relationship. So it sounds like Will might be starting to fall in love with Electra. While Electra is aware Luna is now free, she probably doesn't expect her to be competition. It's true that Luna could play dirty to get the man she wants. However, Luna could also just have a crush. When looking at Luna and Will, I get THFROPE vibes. Will Luna be the villain that can't ever seem to get another chance, like Thomas Forrester, Matthew Atkinson? While Thomas did do a lot of horrible things, he also earned redemption and proved himself. Luna being reformed is one thing. How will she ever earn anyone's trust again though? If Luna wants any kind of romantic possibility with Will, then she'll have to actually prove she's changed. In the end, could Will actually develop feelings for Luna? Will he end up in a love triangle, and if so, which woman will he choose? Chapter 1. A New Beginning. Will Spencer stood at the edge of the sprawling Forrester mansion, gazing out at the lush California landscape. The sun was setting, casting a golden glow over the hills, and he couldn't help but feel the weight of his emotions pressing on his chest. For years, he had been caught between two worlds, one filled with family obligations, high expectations, and luxury, and the other more raw and unpredictable, where his heart seemed to wander. He had grown up in the glittering world of Forrester Creations, surrounded by power, beauty, and wealth. His life, though filled with privilege, had always felt like it was missing something. He had everything anyone could want: money, a prestigious name, a place in one of the most successful fashion dynasties in the world. But there was a hole in his life that he couldn't seem to fill. And then came Luna. Luna had walked into his life as an assistant at Forrester Creations, someone he initially saw as just another face in the sea of employees. But Luna was different. She had a spark about her that set her apart from everyone else. Her laughter was infectious and her intelligence was undeniable. Will had found himself drawn to her, and for the first time in his life, he couldn't ignore the pull he felt towards someone who wasn't part of the Forrester elite. As the days went by, their interactions became more frequent. Will had always prided himself on being professional and focused, but with Luna, he found it hard to concentrate. He would find excuses to stop by her desk, ask her questions about her latest project, or just chat with her about her weekend plans. He was captivated by her warmth, her passion for her work, and the way she seemed completely unbothered by the world of high society in which he had been raised. But with Luna, there was a complication, one that Will couldn't ignore. Luna wasn't interested in the lavish lifestyle he had been born into. She was independent, strong-willed, and more focused on carving out her own path than on becoming part of the Forrester legacy. She had no interest in the money, the glamour, or the power that came with being associated with the Forrester name. To her, Will was just another man, and though she appreciated his charm and intelligence, she wasn't interested in becoming his next conquest. Chapter 2: The Heart's Conflict. As Will sat in his office later that evening, he tried to focus on the report in front of him, but his mind kept drifting to Luna. He remembered the way she smiled at him during their last conversation, how her eyes had twinkled with excitement when she talked about her dream of designing her own clothing line. There was something about her that felt real, something that made him feel like he was seeing the world through new eyes. But Will's life was complicated. He had a family to uphold, a name to protect, and expectations to meet. His father, Bill Spencer, had never been one to shy away from making sure Will stayed on track to inherit the Spencer publishing empire, and his stepmother, Katie Logan, had always tried to guide him in the right direction. The Forrester family, with all their wealth and influence, was another key piece of his world. His grandmother, Stephanie Forrester, had built the company from the ground up, and his mother, Brooke Logan, had worked tirelessly to secure the family's place in the fashion world. But none of this seemed to matter when Will thought about Luna. He could feel the pull of something deeper, something more profound, and it terrified him. Was he ready to step away from the life he had known and follow his heart? As he stared out the window, his thoughts were interrupted by a knock at the door. He turned to see Luna standing in the doorway, a file in her hands. "Hey Will, I just wanted to drop this off for you," she said with a warm smile, her voice a sweet melody that sent a shiver down his spine. "Thanks Luna," he said, standing up to take the file from her. "I appreciate it." There was an awkward silence between them, a tension that neither of them had addressed. Will's heart raced, and he suddenly felt very aware of how close she was standing. "Is everything okay?" Luna asked, her brow furrowing in concern. Yeah, I'm fine," Will said quickly, hoping to mask the turmoil inside him. "Just thinking." Luna nodded, her smile softening. "I get that. Sometimes you just need to clear your head." Will couldn't help but admire her strength, the way she always seemed so composed, so at peace with who she was. He wanted to be like her, unafraid of following her own path. He wanted to break free from the chains of expectation that had bound him for so long. "Luna," he said, his voice low, "can I ask you something?" "Of course," she replied, stepping further into the room. "Why do you keep pushing me away?" Will asked, his eyes meeting hers with intensity. Luna blinked in surprise, clearly taken aback by the question. "I'm not pushing you away," she said quietly, though there was a hint of uncertainty in her voice. "I just don't think it's a good idea for us to get involved. You and me, we come from two different worlds. You don't need someone like me." Will took a step closer to her, his heart pounding in his chest. "But I want you, Luna. I'm not sure how to explain it, but I can't stop thinking about you." Luna's eyes softened, and for a moment, she seemed to be considering his words. But then, as if remembering her reasons for keeping her distance, she took a step back. "I'm not the type of person you need, Will," she said softly. "You're meant for someone who fits into your world. Someone who understands the pressures of being a Spencer. I don't belong in that world." Will stared at her, his heart aching. "I don't want someone who fits into my world. I want you." Luna hesitated for a long moment, her eyes searching his face. "I don't know if I can be the person you need," she whispered, before turning and walking out of the room, leaving Will standing there, his heart in pieces. Chapter 3: Torn Between Two Worlds. The days that followed were filled with a sense of emptiness that Will couldn't shake. Every time he saw Luna, he felt the magnetic pull of his emotions. But every time they spoke, there was a wall between them that he couldn't breach. She was always polite, always professional, but there was something in her eyes that told him she was holding back. Will couldn't help but wonder if he had made a mistake by pursuing her. But then something changed. Will was at a charity gala one evening, surrounded by the usual faces, his family, the Forrester crew, business associates, and high society elite. He had attended these events for years, always playing the role of the charming heir to Spencer Publishing, the golden boy who had it all. But tonight, something felt different. As he scanned the room, he caught sight of Luna standing by the bar, chatting with a group of people. She looked radiant, her hair flowing in loose waves, her dress simple but elegant. Will couldn't help but feel a pang of longing in his chest. He excused himself from the conversation he was in and made his way toward her. "Luna," he said, his voice filled with emotion as he approached her. She turned, a surprised expression on her face. "Will," she said, her smile faltering. "What are you doing here?" "I couldn't stay away," Will said, his voice filled with sincerity. "I need to be honest with you. I can't stop thinking about you, Luna. I've tried to ignore it, but I can't." Luna looked at him, her expression softening. "Will, you don't have to do this. You're a good person, and I care about you, but we come from such different places." "I don't care about that anymore," Will replied, his eyes burning with determination. "I want you. I've been thinking about nothing else, and I can't pretend that it doesn't matter." Luna stared at him for a long moment, her breath catching in her throat. Finally, she spoke, her voice barely above a whisper. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying that I want to be with you, Luna. I don't know what the future holds, but I know that I can't live without you." The room seemed to fall away as Luna looked into his eyes, the weight of their unspoken feelings hanging between them. For a moment, it seemed like time stood still. Finally, Luna took a deep breath and spoke softly. "I don't know if we can make this work, Will, but I'm willing to try, for us." And in that moment, Will knew that his heart had found its home. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our Boldy and BAUTIFEVIL UPDAT YouTube channel for more update news.